I trusted my neighbor like family, until one small detail made me realize they knew way too much about my daily routine. When I first moved in, everything felt unfamiliar. New place, new surroundings, new people. It takes time to feel settled in a space that doesn't yet feel like yours. That's when they became part of my life. Friendly from the beginning, always around when I needed help, offering small things that made a big difference. A quick conversation in the hallway, help carrying something heavy, simple gestures that slowly built trust without me even noticing it. Over time, it felt natural, comfortable, like having someone nearby who cared enough to look out for me. That's why I never questioned anything. Not their presence, not their curiosity, not the way they always seemed to know when I was around. It felt normal until it didn't. The first moment was small, easy to ignore. A casual comment about my schedule. They mentioned the time I usually left in the morning. Not roughly, not approximately, exactly. I remember pausing for a second and brushing it off. It wasn't impossible to notice. Maybe they had seen me leave a few times. Maybe it was just a guess that happened to be right. That explanation made sense, so I accepted it. But then it happened again. Another detail, this time about when I usually came back. Again precise. Again, said casually, like it wasn't something worth questioning. And once again, I told myself it didn't mean anything, because each moment on its own had a reasonable explanation. That's how it starts. Not with something obvious, but with things that can be explained away if you don't look too closely. And for a while, I didn't. I continued with my routine, continued trusting the environment I was in, continued believing that nothing was wrong. But slowly, those small moments started adding up. They knew which days I stayed out longer, which days I came back early. Even small habits I didn't think anyone paid attention to. And the more I noticed it, the less it felt like coincidence, because this wasn't general awareness. It was specific, consistent, like someone had been paying attention for a long time. After that, everything felt different. Not on the surface. They acted the same, spoke the same. Nothing about their behavior seemed unusual. But my perspective had changed. I started replaying every conversation we had ever had. Every small comment that once felt harmless now felt intentional, carefully placed, like pieces of a bigger picture I hadn't been willing to see. I began testing it without making it obvious, changing small parts of my routine, leaving at different times, coming back earlier than usual, and watching, not for actions, but for reactions. And that's when it became clear. They noticed, not immediately, not in a way anyone else would catch, but enough. A slight pause in conversation, a moment of adjustment before they spoke, like they were recalculating something that had changed unexpectedly, and that confirmed everything I needed to know. This wasn't casual observation. It wasn't coincidence. It was attention, continuous, detailed, intentional. I didn't confront them. I didn't ask questions, because the truth was already there. It didn't need to be spoken out loud. It was in the details, the timing, the accuracy of things they should never have known so clearly. And the more I thought about it, the more unsettling it became, because this wasn't just about knowing my routine. It was about how long they had known it, how closely they had been watching without me realizing it, how easily I had allowed it by trusting without question. One evening, I came back quietly. Earlier than usual, the hallway was empty. Everything looked normal, but as I reached my door, I felt it, that same quiet awareness I had ignored before. And for a moment, I just stood there, understanding something I hadn't fully accepted until then. It wasn't just that they knew my routine. It was that they had built it in their mind, detail by detail, without me ever noticing. And once you realize someone has been watching you that closely, the space around you changes. It doesn't feel the same. It doesn't feel neutral. It feels observed, known in ways you never agreed to. I unlocked my door slowly, stepping inside with a different awareness than before, because the hardest part wasn't realizing what they knew. It was realizing how long they had known it, while I believed I was completely safe.